Rolling.
All right, welcome to Pruning Video 101. It's February 28th. When do I start?
No, you're rolling.
Okay.
I'm just interrupting. I just did 101 with my hand there.
Oh. All right, February 28th. Tomorrow's my anniversary date. My wife reminded me, February 29th. Anyway, we're here to talk about pruning. How you like these shades? They are awesome. We found them in the Lost and Found. At any rate, we prune apple trees for a number of reasons. One is it's a way to reduce the fruit load on a tree, because we do not want the tree to bear as many apples as it would like. We would like to control that. So taking branches off, taking fruiting wood off, reduces the number of apples that are on a tree. That's one. Number two is we want to have really good quality fruit, so we are going to prune to branches that are going to produce that higher quality fruit. Another component is that we want the energy of the tree, of the root system, going into the fruit. So by reducing the amount of wood that's above the ground, that ratio then leans towards putting energy into the apple, as opposed to just growing more and more wood and making a bigger and bigger tree. Now also in this respect, we are pruning for light penetration as well. Having the trees get sunlight is important to the appearance of the apple. When sunlight hits the apple, it makes the apple redder, more appealing. A tree that's open will dry quicker after a rain, which reduces, fungus and things like that. So there's a lot of different things that go on in the pruning, but this particular part of this video is just going to be dedicated to what we call singularizing. So we're going to come up to this branch right here. We can see that we have a fork in this branch. Forks belong on your dining table, not on your apple tree. So we're going to take this fork off, and we're going to take this little guy off, and that's good. These little tiny branches that will bear fruit, we're going to leave those. We don't need to mess around with something that small. But this is a nice singularized branch. Now let's go over to this branch here, where we have a lot of other things going on.
You want to move it right to here, Mark? And we have Mark here. This is sort of a new idea we're trying out here, just sort of to make it easier to see which branch we're talking about and what we're trying to do. So we're going to put this backdrop in front of the branches that we're
and I'm not sure what
on.
Mark's title would be in the credits. Would it be like Grip Boy or something
Best
like that?
Boy Grip. I don't know what that is, but I always see it in the credits and I wonder. So that's what, Mark, your unofficial official title is.
I'm the grip.
This branch here is just an excellent example of all kinds of different things that are going on and why we want to take certain branches off. So, number one, we have this branch coming down, we want to singularize it. This branch must come off. Number one reason why it has to come off is because a branch that grows straight up will produce very little fruit. A vertical branch is not a strong fruiting branch, and it has something to do with the hormones that are inside the tree, way beyond my skill set to explain. Ideally, we want branches that tend to be horizontal or slightly up. So this branch here meets those requirements. It's horizontal. Ideally, I'd love to have it be a little bit up, but there is no other alternative to that. And so we're going to take off these other two lower branches. And then at the very end here, you see we have that fork. Where do forks belong? On your kitchen table. Not on your tree.
Not on the tree.
So we're going to cut that off. There we have it. Beautiful branch. We got a little guy over here. We'll take him off. and that branch is done, ready to bear fruit in the 2022 apple season.
Woo! Robert, what tree is this? Is this one? What trees are we looking at here?
This tree is a Zestar. The root system is an abbreviation called Bud 9, but it's named after the most famous, most successful German apple breeder Russian apple breeder in the Soviet Union, Professor Budalewski. He developed a root system that was dwarfing and could survive Russian winters. Huge accomplishment. And now in this apple orchard here, where there's probably 5,000 apple trees, every single root is that same Budalewski or Bud 9 root system. And then about 6 inches out of the ground, we put on the apple tree of our choice. And in this case, we put on a Zestar. So let's go ahead and pop over to another branch here. Let's look at this guy here.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We got a lot
I think
of
this
things.
is a good spot. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
let's think about what we said. We want, we got the branch coming out here. We want to take off the verticals for sure. We're going to take off a few of these forks. And I'm not sure why she shut off. Oh, I think I've just killed my battery. Huh, that's up. I didn't have much charge in it. But at any rate, this is pretty close to being done. I'll singularize this last branch. Jerry's going to hand me his pruner. I'll go ahead and get it turned on here. Takes a second to power up. A couple of clicks and she's ready to go. And I'm going to take that little guy off. And here we go. We got a nice branch.
So vertical branches, whether they're up or they're going straight down, come off.
Correct. So a vertical branch, let's take a look here.
You want to put that back where it was, Mark, because there's also...
So here, I want to show, we're going to go ahead and take that off. But here, let's drop down and we're going to take a look at this branch here. Now,
Excellent.
You can see here, this is a cut that was made last year. It's a renewal cut. It was cut at an angle so that there would be very little bark on top, a little more bark on the bottom, and we successfully had a very nice branch coming off of the bottom of that stub. And so this is the branch we want. You can see it's just got the perfect geometry. It's got the horizontal component, and then she's starting to grow up a little bit. And when she gets a little bit of fruit on it in a year, it'll be a very, very successful branch for us. But look at what we have here. We have a branch that also came out of that stub. And not only is it growing straight up, which means that it will not bear very much fruit, but more negatively, it will, as it grows up alongside of the trunk, what it will do is it will create shade to this trunk. And when it creates shade on this trunk, it's going to decrease the potential for a branch to pop out of this trunk, because we want branches coming out of this trunk all the time, because fruit grows best on young wood. If we have old branches on this tree, we're going to be cutting those off. This is an example of a branch that is, it's probably one of the oldest branches on this tree, and its diameter is getting kind of large. It's approaching half the diameter of the trunk, and once it reaches half the diameter of the trunk, it must come off. So we're going to go ahead and take that whole branch off. And if you see, I'm cutting it at an angle here, and so I'm leaving a lot of bark on the underside here, not so much on the top. And so hopefully next year there'll be a branch that comes out of that bottom side, and that is a renewal cut. We took off the old branch, we took it off in such a way that it's going to promote the growth of a new branch that could potentially bear fruit next year. All right.